Good morning, it's Tanny the Canadian Stamper, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Victoria, BC, Canada. Welcome to Saturday Morning Crafting. Every Saturday morning at 9 o'clock, I walk you through a tutorial, greeting card tutorial, using paper crafting, coordinating products from Stampin' Up! And today we're using beautiful butterflies. And I showed you some of the cards that we did in the Craft and Chat last weekend. I'll just remind you of some of them here. So the Craft and Chat is when we get together and craft in person. There's about 10 people that can join here in my place. So if you're interested in that, at the beginning of last Saturday's live, I did a bit of a run through as to how the Craft and Chat works. There's a few spots left for the May Craft and Chat. And there's two more. Yeah, so we do that in person. It's 30 bucks. You make 5 projects. This one was super popular. There was no kits left. And you get to make all those. All right, let's do it. I see some of you jumping on. I'm gonna bring up comments. Hello and good morning. I think I'm gonna see, but I might have this new thing with Facebook like being super far away. It might be a thing now. So I hope it's not a thing, because trying to zoom in every time might be tricky, but I think I got it this time. All right, I have officially 500 followers, yo. So excited about that. Thank you for joining, and thank you for liking my page and participating in the crafting. I so enjoy you and crafting. It's my happy space. So this is the beautiful butterflies. These are the coordinating dies that go with it that we're using today. Morning, Kate, Carissa, and Gail. I see you all jumping on. Hello. And so we're doing a fun fold. Hi, Terry. And this is what the fun fold looks like. So we're going to do it in a different color palette, but this is essentially it folded down, and then it twists and goes like that. So it's a little bit, you have to be mindful as to how you're doing your, so you just have to be mindful as to how you are gluing your butterfly to the card front. But we're going to make the card base together. So it's called a Storybook Fun Fold, I guess. Storybook Twist Fun Fold. I just totally made that up. Storybook is when you have, see how there's this piece here? And so this, it's almost like a book binding. So that's what makes it the storybook, and then the twist being this piece here. So it's one piece of 8.5 by 11 by 4 1/4. And then this is what the base looks like. Originally, I was gonna do a repeat of this one, but the designer series paper with it, which is the Bokeh 6x6 DSP that goes with the butterfly suite, I wasn't digging it. So we're gonna start from scratch, and I'm gonna show you how to make it. So let's do that first. I'll show you what's in the kit. So here's all of our pieces. So here's our 4 1/4 by 11. And then we have all these pieces here. So let's do the card base first. I know, Carissa, I want you to come to the Craft and Chat as well. I really, really do. It would be so fun if you could join us one time. All right, 4 1/4 by 11. You're gonna open up your arm if you have a Stampin' Up! Trimmer or other, and you're gonna score on the 11-inch side at 4 1/4 and 5.5. So normally I put these in the newsletter, but I have been remiss in doing my newsletter, so I'm putting them in here first. So 4 1/4 and then 5.5. Oh, I guess you don't need your arm out. I lied to you. You do not need your arm. Okay, so then, oh, where's my tearing tape? You need tearing tape. So tear and tape looks like this, and it's a super sticky double-sided tape. Once you put this down, it's not coming up again, whatever you're gluing together. So you're gonna see one side is wider than the other. So I'm just flipping that over. So we're gonna fold like this, and now we're perfect. And then this piece is gonna, oops, fold back on itself here. That's how we make the book binding for the story fold, like so. So this is optional. You could adjust the measurements to where you just have a card base and you just have this, which I've done before with Halloween things. And then we're gonna score diagonally, so you don't have to have the book fold. It's just an added thing. So you could use Tombow, or you could use double-sided, like the tape roller if you have that. However, it needs to be really strong because we don't want it to pop off. So just be mindful of that when you're deciding what adhesive to use. Good morning, Jan. Good morning, morning. What's everybody up to this weekend? I feel like there's yard work in my future. Lance was away all this week for work, and so no Costco. It's amazing how much less we eat. So Zach worked 2 nights this week, and I was on my own quite a bit. There's not a lot of food consumed when Tanya's by herself. All right, so a couple ways you could do this. You could fold this, or you could, what I should have done is scored it before, but it doesn't matter. So there's what we've got so far. So now we need to make this piece that goes across like that. So you're going to take from this corner and you're going to score this way. Maybe I kind of hooped myself, didn't I? I think I did. That's all right. I'm going to do it a different way. Whoops. Okay, I just want to make sure I have my angles. So we want this way because we want it to fold up. I've really done it to myself. Whatever, I was gonna draw a line and score it, but I think we're just gonna have to improvise here. Okay, I'm doing it. So score before, or if you need to have that score line, I'm just lining this up, this point here and that there, and that's fine. So if you want to have your score line in your trimmer, just score it before you make your bookend piece. This works too. So the other thing we're doing tonight is going to a fundraiser. Finally made, oh, the tabletop garbage. Nice, Carissa. This is my tabletop garbage. And then it folds down. Let me show you. Empty the garbage. Gosh, I must have had this for 7 years now, maybe. And then it goes like that. So I have a couple of them, and I put them in my little crafting bag to go. This one sits on my desktop just over here, and yeah, awesome. Do you like it? Do you like the tabletop garbage? You made it. It takes a bit to work the papers, doesn't it? To get it to do this, you gotta kind of work the papers a bit to get that to go. All right, so let's look at our other pieces here. So these circle dies are from the Spotlight on Nature dies, these two. And then this little sentiment piece is from the Stylish Shapes die, that one there. And then so for the butterflies, this basic black, and then this is some designer series paper. So I've used these 2 pieces here. So that's those. And then I've cut out this little guy, and he's gonna be used to pop up our twist. That's what that one's for. So if you don't have the butterfly, use whatever you have as the focal point for the card. Doesn't have to be the butterflies. Then we have these two pieces. So these ones, I think they're 4 by 4, but let's just double check. 4 by 4 of the designer series paper that's going to coordinate with your cardstock. So cut it at 4 by 4 and then just diagonal in your trimmer. And then that's going to be these two pieces. And then this one is optional if you want to put a piece of white in there. And then this little piece is to go on your storybook edge. How big is this? This is 1 inch by 4. All right, let's unstick my glue so we can get rolling. Where's my pokey tool? Oh, Pam, you made one 3 years ago. It looks like new. Oh, that's fun. It's awesome. All right, so we're gonna glue this. That's pretty much it for the fun fold. So this is the, yeah, I think it's called bokeh paper. So what's going on in Stampin' Up land? So if you're a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, Stampin' Up is moving to a new platform. They call it DPU, but I don't know what DPU stands for. Something platform unification. So they're putting all their systems into one. And so I think Paper Pumpkin was just moved over this past week. And so usually you have to sign in through this Paper Pumpkin website, but I think you can now do it via Stampin' Up. It's all in one spot. So they are modernizing, which is awesome. So you could put a layer in between, like you could accent this with white underneath if you wanted to. So this piece of designer series paper is 4 by 4. So I would cut a white piece at 4 by 4 in diagonal and then do like 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 if you're gonna do a mat. So of course, when you're doing mats, you could, it's always whatever, and then a 1/4 inch. So if you're 5 by 5, it's 4 3/4 by 4 3/4, and then 5 by 5 for the underneath part. You could also do 1/8 of an inch there. So that's fun, hey? So far so good. All right, let's deal with these pieces. So this, what paper is this? This is, let's see. This one's called Full of Life 6 by 6 Designer Series paper. And that's the back side, which I thought, oh yeah, maybe, but it's too much. I'm not digging it. Yeah, thank you, Carissa. That's right, Gail. So if you go to my YouTube channel, you got to go into the way back. All you need is a 12 by 12 piece of paper, some tape, and bone folder. Pretty sure that's all you need. And it's like origami, really. So I think this was made by maybe like a 12 by 12, but I also made smaller ones with a 6 by 6 piece of paper. They're a little bit too small to do anything with. Okay, so this one I glued down the butterfly. This one, I'm gonna try and be a little bit fancy and only glue the body of the butterfly and try to let the wings fly. Because that's what butterflies do, they should be flying. So one option is to leave it like this, which I think that's gonna be okay. It's pretty flimsy, but I think it's okay. Other option is that you could take, I would probably double up mini dimensionals and pop them up under the thicker parts of the wings to give it some lift. We're gonna leave it though. See how we go. That one, okay, so then these two pieces are gonna stick together. Yeah. When Chrissy was here a couple weekends ago, she planted some tulips and things in my front sort of planters. is very nice. She loves her flowers. I don't know if you're on, Christy, right now, but the flowers are very pretty. All right, so let's stamp. We're going to use a coordinating color. So this cardstock here is Highland Heather. So we're going to use Highland Heather to stamp our sentiment, which is going to be happy birthday. However, I feel like I can't remember if I re-inked this is a willow hair. I feel like I need to re-ink my pad, I think. It seems very dense, this pad. Whoops. Oh yeah, it's not terrible, but let's just do this quickly. So re-inker, I always recommend if you're gonna buy an ink pad, just grab the re-inker when you purchase it. And because Stampin' Up! Tells us that the chemicals that go into making the ink, just have a little willow hair here, they change slightly, you know, between over the years and over the months. So it's fine if you don't have the ink refill, but it's better if you can to purchase the ink refill at the same time, because then the ink that went into making the pad is the same ink that you're gonna get in the refill. So I'm dripping this, and see how fast it's absorbing? I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but it means it's juicy. It's thirsty. So then what I do, what I can tell you not to do is don't use your bone folder because it's porous. Don't do this, but you need to mush it around. So some people use a spoon, some people have a plastic spoon or whatever. I do not, so I use the end of this. This is Jim Holtz Tonic Studios, and I just kind of do a little this. But a spoon works too. Just don't use your bone folder. Oh, that's better. It feels more squishy. Yeah. So you can see it slightly better. I'm actually going to go a little bit more. So don't be afraid to get into your edges. Wow, see how fast that's sucking up the... It's interesting. Must be really thirsty, this ink pad. Anywho, this is how you re-ink your ink pad, in case you were not sure how that goes. I think that should be good now. You always use your bone folder, Christine. Doesn't it get, like, I guess depending on what kind of bone folder you have, don't you have, I use my bone folder and it's like stained with all the ink. But maybe you have a different bone folder than me. All right, I think third time's a charm. Yeah, it's pretty close to the other one. If we weren't on a live, I might actually just keep adding ink to this, to be honest with you, but let's get on with it. Oh my gosh, with the willow hair. So I'm gonna use my silicone mat, which is what that brown thing is. So it's a photopolymer stamp set, so I need a bit of cushion if you're wondering what this brown thing is. Let me get my head right over it. Yeah, so tonight, the, yeah, dollar store, Christine, yeah, so who cares? Nailed it. So tonight, the fundraiser we're going to, it's at the Rack, which is a, I don't think it's a pub, it's a restaurant. It's got super good, delicious food, and they are hosting, it's called Anglers for Autism. So they got 50/50 and a silent auction and all kinds of stuff. It's a good time. We went last year as well. And yeah, super fun. So I think one of the guys that Lance works with, his son has autism, and so Dad kind of organizes this. There might actually be two people on, two dads on Lance's team. Maybe. Anyways, it's good. It's a good time. So this is where you need to be strategic. When this card was done in the Craft and Chat last weekend, some crafters had it sticking over. Like, do you see how that's sticking over a little bit? So it's not going to fit in the envelope. Where's my envelope? Oh, this one might be okay. But anyway, so the point being is that you want to make sure you're not going over. So you're gonna have this, then you're gonna, I mean, you could do it like this, but I kind of want it to be on an angle. And then when you lift up, it's gonna kind of look straight, you know? Or you could do, if you want it to be on an angle like that. So now see how my thing is a bit over? So when we go to actually glue, we'll just be mindful of that. All right, so this circle, this is boho blue, by the way. So what I do is I kind of grab where I don't want glue on that side of it. Like so. And then we're gonna glue down the butterfly just as it is. I don't know, Willow's hair, Pam, is just everywhere, like everywhere. I bought like a dark colored hoodie, excuse me, hoodie, and it was not a smart thing to do because there's white willow hair everywhere. All right, so similar to how we don't want glue on this back side, we don't want glue on the full butterfly. And remember, this is optional. You can glue this down if you don't like how flimsy it is. So we're gonna do this. Now we're watching to make sure we're inside the card, and we're also putting it on an angle. So I'm just gonna focus all the glue right in the middle of the body because I know that's safe. And then that's gonna be it. So we're on an angle, we're a bit over, so I'm gonna pull it down. Whoop. Okay, now just the sentiment and then the big reveal. I'm feeling like it needs a bit of bling on there. I think I have some purple bling actually. This might work just fine. All right, so just gonna go straight on with this one. There it is. I love it. I like how it's on an angle, and I feel like these little purple dots, is this what I want? Let's just have a look. How do you guys store your stuff? I have so many, you know, honestly, here's a truth bomb right now. I don't even know what's current and what's not current. The Stampin' Up! Demonstrator life is such that, oh, what about those little butterflies? Is such that you're supposed to have all the current things, and you're supposed to only use current products. These are the ones I was looking for. But honestly, I don't even know what's current anymore because Stampin' Up! Has so much new stuff all the time, which is amazing. But the unfortunate part is that it's hard to keep up as a demonstrator with what's new, what's current. So I'm pretty much just abandoning it. I'm just going with what I want to make. That's what I've decided. It's stressful trying to figure out only the current stuff. Yep, that's happening. These might be happening. Let's just see where we go here. Oh, I hear Zachary. He's getting up. I think I'm going to do right in the body. 3 of them. Purple. So these are Highland Heather. Tiny little, what are these called? These are Purple Fine Shimmer Gems. Whoops. That looks pretty. Just a little bit of something something on there. What about this guy in the middle? You need some too. Maybe one. Yeah, that's cute. All right, that's enough of you. Let's see what this is about. Do we want, is it competition? No, I'm not doing that. Morning, Zachary.
Morning.
All right, there it is. Okay, let's put you away. Let's grab the other one so you can compare and see. Whoops, put these away. Okay, so there's today's. This is kind of popped up still, eh? I think it's okay. And then here's the one from last week. All right, so you can tell me which one you kind of like, which color palette really. That's what it looks like this way. Thanks, Gail. So Storybook Twist, pretty basic as far as once you just get the couple of score lines done. I think I prefer this one. I like that the butterfly is not super attached. I like that there's a bit of movement there, and I like it with the bling. This one's blingless. I'll have to add some bling. All right, that's it. Have a fantastic Saturday and a great weekend. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you, and we'll see you next weekend. Bye for now.